Happy New Year, Virgo. Welcome to your rune scope for 14. That's right, instead of just a very scope. I'm going to be taking a look at the year 14 and what's going to be going on for Virgo and Virgo rising. I'm going to take a look at the first half of the year with the runes, as usual, and the second half of the year with the major arcana from the tarot. Hopefully that will give us a very balanced look using two very powerful tools of divination as far as what will be happening for you guys in team. I also have a Thor Pest Dispenser here. Hoping that maybe, Thor will lend his energy to the proceedings this evening. That would be great as long as it's, we don't really need the hammer. Listen, Virgo. No, we just, the healing fire friendship energy that Thor can bring, the lucky energy. This sort of busting through obstacles is helpful, but as far as pounding the truth into you Virgos, we don't really need that. I hope I didn't just piss them off. But anyway, as always, be sure to watch the video for your rising sign as well. That can also give you some information about other themes that you be dealing with specifically in team. Or you can schedule a private consultation with me anytime. Just drop me a line at the email address below any of these videos to set up an appointment for that. Those are on Skype, $5 for half an hour. So, and the New Year is a really good time to get a reading because then I can kind of tap into your personal energy and focus on you rather than just this general spread. But let's jump into what you're going to be dealing with through Team Virgo. What I see as far as your focus and where you'll be encountering challenges have to do with business and work. There'll be a lot of travel involved for work, for you to make negotiations. But I feel like for a lot of you, whether you are traveling or whether this is just, a 9-to-5 job where you go in and do your work and then leave, you're just going to be kind of going through the motions. I kind of see you guys you go in, you do what you're expected to do, but you're not real thrilled about it. You're kind of, and I feel like a lot of you put on a happy face, you put on a positive attitude. If you're dealing with customers, if you're dealing with clients, you're very skillful at sort of wearing that customer service mask and projecting that, there's nowhere on earth that you'd rather be than dealing with this person. But I mean, I think you guys be feeling the, kind of the drudgery of it. For those of you who own your own business, negotiations, it might be stop and start. I mean, there may be some negotiations that fall through for each. So you can get your hopes up a couple of times and then be let down by people as far as like following through with, going with your company or going with your services. So that'd be a recurring theme. Also, it could just be, people coming to see you or calling you at a bad time. It seems like communication will be very inconvenient. It'll come at inconvenient times. And, so it's like, your mom will call while you're in the middle of a business deal, or, your husband will call you when you are, in a meeting or something. So, I mean, it's things like that. Some of you, I just want to point out, drive very carefully, okay? Because with Virgo reversed, it could be that some of you will, you could encounter accidents or be involved in an accident. So please be very careful. No texting while driving, if you're talking on the phone, do that hands-free stuff. Be very careful with that, Virgo. Whenever that card comes up, I always want to mention, to be extra careful while driving. Don't want any of you to get hurt. So, 10 and 2, drive like a mom, sit way up in your seat, 10 and 2, kind of be very good, conscientious drivers. The help you can receive. For those of you who are involved in legal stuff, if you're waiting on a legal settlement, I do see that coming through. And if it does come through, when it does come through in this 6-month period, it will be, this is something you've waited on for quite some time. So if you've been waiting on a divorce settlement or something to be final legal-wise, this will be coming to fruition for you. For others of you, if this is not a legal thing, this could just be something that you've been waiting to kind of reap It's generally it's literally the card of the harvest. So, I mean, whatever you have planted seeds for in teen, if you've been waiting on a business deal, if you've been nurturing a relationship, if you've been trying to get pregnant, this is going to come through for you. And 14, this goal is going to be achieved, and it has to do with a new beginning. If you were writing a book or working on a creative project, working on your own, getting your own website up, your own business, anything like that, you're going to see the fruits of your labor in 14 and be very happy with what you've created. You're going to feel like the wait was worthwhile. For a lot of you have isolated yourself a lot to sort of work on this. That have been your baby. For some of you, it was literally a baby trying to get pregnant, like I mentioned. But for others of you, it seems like it had been just a project or something that you were nurturing. And it was your baby in the sense that you created it with your hands, with your skills, with your abilities. And you're going to see the fruits of that labor in teen and be very happy with what you see. I see you also dealing with Virgo, trying to stay positive as far as your family life goes. Okay, you are trying to not only stay positive, but keep everyone else positive. I think sometimes this can be exhausting for you. For those of you who make sure that you're not purposely not seeing things, Virgo. That's what I'm getting. Particularly for those of you who are coupled. Don't sweep issues under the carpet. Nothing gets solved that way. Don't ignore things. Don't pretend that things aren't a little weird. Because I feel like somebody may be hiding something from you. I feel like your partner may be hiding something from you. It doesn't have to be your partner. In some cases, this could be a child, but it's somebody in your immediate environment, in your home life. For others of you, you may be, again, going back to this legal thing, dealing with family. If this was like an estate settlement or a will or probate or something like that, you could be dealing with people who hid things from you and who are now trying to kind of lie their way out of it. And, but your intuition is going to tell you exactly what's up. So trust that intuition. You were right about that all along. But yeah, it's going to be actually hemming and hawing of you getting whatever you get in this harvest, if that was a legal situation. Some other members of your family feel that what you got was theirs and have a lot to say about that. So, but yeah, be careful of anybody pulling the wool over your eyes, Virgo. Don't let them get away with that. Somebody in your family or a partner. Don't ignore things and just try to. Again, we talked about how you're skillful at wearing that happy mask at work. Take that off when you go home. Make sure that you take those blinders off and are seeing everything in me. What you kind of have to accept from marriage and what that period is going to be like is that, you'll be past the kind of exciting new beginning phase of whatever this is. We're going back now to this project that you're working on, the baby, your baby, literal or figurative. You're going to be back and past that exciting new beginning phase and into the just plain old work phase, that elbow grease and carrying this, taking this where it needs to be. And you're going to kind of go after that with a real tenacity though, Virgo, because you really want to see whatever this is succeed. And because it's not only for yourself, but for others, because it's going to help your family, help your stability, help you to help your self-esteem for a lot of you that you did this on your own, but don't be afraid to delegate. You did the conception of this. It's still going to be your thing, but don't be afraid to delegate it and to help with things that maybe you don't know that much about. You want things done right, so definitely get people on the team who know what they're doing. Don't kind of try to jump in and take things on your own, take things over on your own just because you want to be in control. There'll be somebody else who's better suited for the task and who will really make your product shine or make this idea shine for you. And they won't try to steal it. They won't try to take the credit and say, I did this. So just remember that. I I feel like, for a lot of you, going back to the partnership issue, your relationship, there may be people telling you, maybe hearing things, people talking about your partner, people not liking your partner, people, interfering in your relationship in some way. But what I'm getting is that some of this is maybe true for some of you. Okay. So, you know what? It could be that maybe for many of you, you have reached the end. You have done all that you're supposed to do with this person, and it may be time to move on. If you don't leave, you're just kind of postponing the inevitable. And I kind of feel like for some of you, that's what you're going to hear. Now, this doesn't have to be a romantic situation. Again, this can be a business partnership. It could be that somebody's maybe not pulling their weight. Whatever it is, whether it's romantic or business, somebody is not holding up their end of the deal. They're not pulling their weight. They're not handling their responsibilities when it comes to home and family. They're not handling their responsibilities on the job. They're leaving maybe you to do all the dirty work, all the really hard work while they do the fun stuff. And on top of that, may not be being honest with you, either in a romantic or business sense. So listen to, you feel that people are being judgmental, but really they are maybe seeing something that you're not, Virgo. So pay heed to what others have to say, especially if it's people that you trust and who have your best interests at heart. Other people, blah, 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 whatever. But if it's people that you trust, listen to what they have to say. And now let's take a look at 13. The focus for you from that time is going to be facing fears, okay? Facing things in a different way, looking at things in a different way. Some of you, again, are dealing with a trickster, somebody who will present themselves and appear to be very much what they think you want them to be. They're giving you a picture, but it's not an honest portrayal. Again, this can be romantic or business. It's going to be different for all of you. Just depends on your certain circumstances. But someone who is presenting the face. For some of you, this will be a woman. For you guys, maybe it could be a girlfriend or a wife or a potential lover, a business partner, somebody that you are dealing with on a daily basis. Okay, so this is just somebody who is not being upfront with you. Now, for some of you, if this is a relationship, if this is a marriage, the fear may be a fear of being alone. You'd be staying in a situation just because you're afraid to be on your own. You're afraid you're not going to be able to make it on your own. Maybe you have children. You're afraid, how will I support these kids? Or, but the truth is, are you going to be, wouldn't you like the chance to be happy? Would you like the chance to find someone who will care about you for you, instead of using you, instead of not being honest with you? So your focus for Virgo is going to be how you're being treated, how you're being treated by other people. What does that say about how they view you? Do you like how they view you? Do you want to change that? Are you going to put your foot down in some way and say, you know what, this isn't going to fly anymore? Because I see that you have the ability to just walk right out of whatever this prison is. If you feel confined, if you feel unappreciated, if you feel taken advantage of, if you feel stuck, you do have the ability to leave, but you feel like you don't. Remember that, Virgo. Prisons are only it's a perception. We can really all walk out of any situation at any time. So if you're feeling trapped, it's because it's self-imposed. And I feel like somebody tell you that. For you Virgo women, I feel like, for some of you, you'd be having dealing with issues with your dad or with father, with somebody not using their wisdom. And it could be that you pick all of the wrong men based on a relationship that you have with your father or a lack of a relationship that you have with your father. So, these are types of realizations that come to you. Especially this later half of, this is why I choose this kind of man. This is why I stay in these kinds of relationships. And for any of you who are in an abusive relationship, you need to not only tell someone about that, but you need to get out of that as soon as possible. you know, your life could be in danger. And I mean, I hate telling people that, but I mean, life is too short anyway. Don't stay in a situation like this, whether it's verbal abuse or whatever. Get out of that. Because Virgo, we had abuse come up for you guys last year in some of the monthlies. So for those of you in that situation, do whatever you have to do to get out of that situation. Seek help. There's help all over the internet. People will help you get out of that situation. If you feel like people are being judgmental, or maybe you feel like people are being overly judgmental, maybe this is not how your relationship is, but you feel like people see that. Maybe stop and think, why would they think that? You know, it can help you see things from in a new light. Because I mean, there's something about your home life that needs to change, Virgo. And if it's not a romantic partnership, again, it's a business partnership, but something about your day-to-day life needs to change. And I feel like you're just not seeing it clearly. Maybe you don't want to see it. The latter half of teen is going to be kind of like the blinders come off. And once you take those off, you know, things start to change for the better. You start to be treated more fairly because you're not going to let yourself be treated unfairly anymore. I see you taking a stand, you know, at the end of teen and demanding to be treated the way that you deserve. What you can't change is, again, going back to this person. They are not, whoever this person is, you know, whether it's a mate or a business partner, they're constantly wanting to buck the system in some way. Societal norms are not their thing. So if you want a family, you want a traditional home life, this person does not want that. Whether they're going through the motions or it's not where their heart is. It's not really, they're just not designed for it. Some people are designed for that. Other people just aren't. Maybe they didn't have a good home life. Maybe they didn't have a good upbringing. They don't know what that feels like. And so it feels very foreign to them. And they're just not comfortable. And they'll do whatever they can to sort of wreck that. And that's kind of what I see going on. And you've been so thinking that you just need to be strong and this person will change. Honey, this person ain't gonna change. Man or woman, whoever, you know, this person is not gonna change. You're waiting for something that is not gonna happen. And, you know, who wants to go every day of their life knowing they're being deceived about who someone is, about what someone is up to? Being lied to about what someone is doing. No one should have to go through life like that, including you. So yeah, I mean, before the end of 14, you will need to make a decision. And I think that you will. Virgo, you are going to stop vacillating. Should I leave? Should I not? Should I stay? Should I go? You're going to make a decision. Because you're just going to feel like it's a bigger risk to stay in the situation that you're in for a lot of you. And for some of you, this will be a job situation. But for a lot of you, I see it coming up as a relationship. Again, it doesn't have to be. For some, it'll be different for all of you. But so yeah, if this is a job situation where you've been taken advantage of, you're going to make a decision and take a big risk and just leave. You know, and it may not even be that big of a risk, but to Virgo, you guys aren't huge risk takers. So it may just be, I'm going to take a job with, very minimal insurance, and that'll seem like a big risk to you. Or, I'm going to take a job with a longer commute. Oh, look out. I'm sorry, Virgo. I'm not making fun of you. You're not the only sign like that, but Capricorn's kind of that way too. But yeah, it's just like, ooh, a risk to you. What seems like a big risk to you, to other people will just be like, well, yeah. For those of you leaving a bad relationship, it's the same thing. It's like, when you leave that, you're gonna be like, yeah, this person was, treating me bad or cheating on me or lying to me. They're gonna be like, well, yeah, we all saw that. And that kind of goes back to earlier in the year when people are telling you things and maybe you're seeing them for the first time through a different lens. How other people see things, how other people see you and your life, and not liking that so much. So, but the end of teen, I see you making a decision, and I see your heart and your mind in accord about this, and things are going to start happening very quickly. Once you make this decision and move forward, this risk, or what you feel is a risk, things start moving forward, but you feel hopeful. You feel hopeful about where they're going. It's not like, a runaway train where things are out of control. You have control. You take control. You direct the train where you want to direct it, and you're hopeful about where you're going. So for the first time in a long time, I think you're going to feel very positive about what lie ahead, because, you know, the unexpected for Virgo could sometimes be scary, because you do like to have control, Virgo. You like to know what the outcome's going to be. Here's the formula. Every time I do it this way, I'm going to get this answer. Relationships are kind of messy. They don't really fit into those boxes. Other people don't really fit into those boxes. And situations in life don't always fit, well, actually seldom fit into those boxes. So, but yeah, I mean, I see this being, you know, you're at the wheel at the end of teen. And yeah, things may get a little crazy, but you take the wheel and you get it back on course. And yeah, feel very excited about what lies ahead for teen. So I think you're going to be a lot more hopeful at the end of teen than you were at the end of teen, Virgo. Again, take off those blinders. Whatever you're not seeing, not wanting to see, not wanting to admit, it's time for some clarity, and the sun's going to shine the light on that in teen. So good luck with that. I know you'll handle truth. I think you're ready for it. I think you're ready to go after what you deserve. So do that, Virgo. And I'll see you again in February for the monthly RuneScopes. Take care.